Today we're going to make a paperclip using the sweep feature. And when we use a sweep, we have to remember that we need a profile and a path. So we'll need two sketches here today. All right, so first thing I'll do is create sketch. Again, different versions of SketchUp will look a little different, but create sketch. And just want to think about where I'm going to place my path and where I'm going to create my profile, okay? The two should intersect at 90 degrees. So I'm going to use the top view, the blue-red, to create my path. And then my profile will go here in the green-red or the front view. Okay, so blue-red, I'm going to select this one for my path. All right. And my sketch today, my drawing is going to all be in millimeters. But if I go over here on the left, I see that my units are in inches. So I just go over here. There should be a pencil or an option to update. So if I click on that pencil, a little pop-up menu appeared over here on the right for me. And it's in inches, so I'll just change it to millimeters. And I'll say OK. I'm going to start here at 0, 0. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my shape. Now, we do have dimensions in our classroom management. Our classroom management page for our class, so you can go check those out. But for right now, just quickly draw my shape. I'm going to draw. What do we want to do here? Draw. We'll go up, and then I'm going to go over, and then I'll go way down here, and then up, over, and back down. Okay, so looks somewhat like a paperclip. It's all boxed out. Notice these little constraints here, these white T's. These are perpendicular constraints. We need to see these in all of the corners. If you don't, you're going to need to add a constraint. In my version of SketchUp, my constraints are over here in this little pop-up screen. Newer versions, you'll have a constraint tiles up across the top. Okay, you just need to make sure that you have those T's. Those are perpendicular constraints, and again, in all of the corners. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and dimension this. All right, so we'll go to Sketch, Dimension, and I want to dimension here. All right, mine is 40. All right, now notice it's going to distort this a little bit, and that's okay for right now. Hopefully we'll see some improvement as we go. This next one is 60. All right. This one here is going to be 44. It looks a little bit better. All right, so my vertical or up and down dimensions all look pretty good. Now let's go ahead and take care of some of these. This first one is going to be 14. Again, this is going to shrink it quite a bit. It's going to get a little distorted. Okay. This next one here, this inside one is going to be 8. Looks a little better. And then this one down here is going to be 11. Okay, now my dimensions are all over the place, so I might want to clean them up a little bit just so they look a little nicer. I'll set this up so you guys can see everything. All right. And we'll just adjust this a little bit so you can see the page, zoom in a little bit, and hopefully that helps to see all the dimensions. You can pause it if you need to set up your dimensions. Now, Paperclip does not have 90-degree edges. It has rounded edges. And the easiest way to put in a rounded edge is using a fillet. We're still in the sketch here. I'm going to go to Sketch. I'm going to go down to Fillet. My top fillets are going to be 7. Try that again. Sketch, fillet, 7. All right. So my top are 7. My very, very, very bottom ones are 5.5. All right, and then My little inside ones here are going to be 4. Now, when you do fillet, you can actually click on all of them that you want. I could click on this one, and it's just a matter of which operating system you're using. Sometimes you can hold down Control or Shift, and you can get 2 of them selected. The only problem is mine did gray out over there. So I have and then it messes it all up. So you can select multiple edges if you want. I just noticed as I was practicing earlier that it wasn't looking the way I want to. And you saw my little glitch there. It didn't look quite nice or as nice as we'd like it to. So I'm just going to do them all individually. All right. So 4 is for my inside, 7 for my top, and 5.5 for the bottom. Okay. Looks good. I'll stop sketch. And I can see a 2-dimensional drawing here. I'll go up to the top corner, I'll hit the house button, and I can see that shape. It's laid out, it's nice and flat. Notice that the red plane is slicing right where I started drawing. So if I do another sketch and I select this red-green box, it will slice through. It'll give me a nice starting point. 0, 0 will be a great starting point. And I'm just going to do a sketch circle, center diameter circle. And right there at 0, 0, I'm going to draw a 2 millimeter circle. 2 millimeters. That looks good. I'll hit stop sketch. You can see my circle is right at the starting point of that line that I drew. As long as it's perpendicular, it should be okay. And now I'm going to go up to create. Again, every version of SketchUp a little bit different. We should just go down and find sweep. My pop-up box is set up for a single path, and then it's asking me right now to click the profile. The profile is the little circle. Then it says, what is your path? So I'll click on select. And now if I click on this, it'll generate just a little piece, but I want to keep going. So if I click on the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Again, different operating systems, different versions of SketchUp. You might have to hold down Shift or Control while you go around and click those, or you just click each individual segment and it will work. Okay, pretty basic idea, but did a lot of neat stuff here. All right, next thing we're going to go do is put this into a drawing. Some versions of SketchUp, if I go to the upper left corner, mine says model, some say design. Okay, either way, just click that drop down, go down to drawing, from design. First, I need to save it. All right, so I'll call this Paperclip 1. I've already saved this a few times, so I'm just going to call it Paperclip 1. Take the defaults, that's fine. And now when I send it into the drawing, it's itty bitty, it's just a little flat paperclip. My pop-up menu here says it's 1:1. I might want to go the other way and maybe make this 2:1, or maybe even 4:1 or 8:1, something large. All right, where I can see, all right, see the paperclip. Now, that's not the greatest view, but if I go over to the top left and click projected views, whoa, huge. All right, so maybe not the size that I want. So I'll click on this, double click. 8:1 was way too big. So let's try 2:1. Just let's see if that works. All right, so I have that view. And now let's go up to the top left and click projected views. There we go, a little better. So top view, and then there's my front view. I can hit enter. So top view, front view. Now I'll click on my front view and I'll say projected views. There's my side view. And of course that isometric view is probably gonna be the nicest one. Give us a nice 3D view here. Have it squeeze in there and hit enter. Okay. Now, views are kind of crisscrossing here, so you might need to rearrange this. You could even rotate views and do some different things. Leave that up to you. All right. This isometric view, I'm going to double click and I'm going to change it to shaded close, so it's just colored in. And then we want to put as many dimensions on as we can to fully describe this part. Okay, and we'll leave it up to you with how many you want to put in. All right. I think some good ones would be the diameter. All right, now mine's saying it's changing as I'm rotating around, right? So we're gonna need to make sure we click on the right. Here we go. There's our 2. Need to click on the right spot. Okay, so 2. And then when it comes to this, it's going to be kind of interesting to do. Probably want to get those radius in, right? Now it tells me it's an 8 when you and I know we did a 7. There's a 5 when we had done a 4. So with the thickness of the part, it may have changed. Okay. But we want to tell people how big all those are, how big each of those pieces are. The other one is, well, it's giving me a radius. Is it possible to get, I don't know, just some of these dimensions in, right? There's 33. You know, is it possible to get the overall height of the part? Might need to play around with stuff. Can I get the overall height? All right. And we'll leave it up to you. Okay. The assignment calls for multiple dimensions to help clearly describe your part. So we'll leave that up to you with how many you think you need. The final piece would be to complete your title block. All right. I did save my paperclip as paperclip 1, so that name does transfer over. My name is there as well, along with the date. The last few things I would want to do is add an image here to the title block. So if I again, my version of Fusion, when I double click on this, I get a pop-up menu. Some of you will have an insert image up here across the top. So I can say insert image, and I'll pick one of my logos, pick a location, and I'll scale it down just a little bit, and then I'll scooch it over so it fits in that title block nicely. Now with my version, I have all of these areas I can go type in. So if I don't like the name Paperclip 1, I can change it to just Paperclip. Drawing number. This is, assignment, I don't know, number 5 or 6. You could write that. If the paperclip had like a catalog number, or not a URL, but like a barcode or something, you might type that in. You could fill out as much of this as you'd like. Okay, and when you're done, you just enter and it'll close up. Okay, for those using different versions of Fusion, you'll need to double click and then double click and activate each area. Also look across the top for insert image and stuff like that. When you're done, we'll zoom this out so it looks nice. And when it's looking good, up here at the top, output to PDF, and then upload that to our classroom management system, and you are all done. Hope that helped. Good luck.